Peace and love, fam. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Monte. We're dealing with stress, we're dealing with inflammation reduction, and we're dealing with a lifestyle, all right? And we want to deal with the idea that these things go a long way in helping to allow the body to produce its best self, right? So let's talk about what stress does to the body. Stress is a killer to the body. Stress actually sends out stress sends the blood out to the extremities in the body. And we want the blood to be focused in the vital part of the body, meaning the organs right there in the center, right in our torso. This is where we want our blood to be focused at. Of course, the brain as well. But anytime that you're under stress, even the perception of stress, even a perceived stress that may not be actually happening to you physically, just the thought can trigger you into what they call that fight or flight response. This sends the blood out to the extremities, and therefore it undermines the blood supply to the vital organs. Therefore, it undermines the effectiveness of the vital organs, such as the digestive system, the immune system, etc. It compromises these things because the lack of blood is not allowing those things to function at their optimal peak. Wherever you want functioning and wherever you want healing and whenever you want something to get done, that's where you want the greatest supply of blood. So again, under an enormous amount of stress, the body sends the blood out to the extremities as if you was going to fight or flight. Therefore, it takes away from the vital organs of the body, compromising vital functions for our health. So we definitely want to reduce stress. This is how you can reduce stress, guys. You can learn how to breathe properly. Breathing in through the nose for about 6-second count, then exhaling through the mouth, allowing your diaphragm to expand, to collapse when you exhale. When you inhale, you're allowing that diaphragm to expand. So you want to really practice that. I practice that on a daily basis because I understand that I don't breathe the right way. Again, it becomes just natural for us to breathe unnaturally because we haven't really been taught. So that's another way to reduce the stress. Also, what I've learned is a technique for myself is that I accept things for what they are, meaning that it may be a negative situation and it may impact me in a negative way, but I don't allow that negativity to stay with me. I accept what it is that is going on. I view it for what it is, and then I move to how can I make this situation better, if I can make it better. If I can't make it better, then I don't allow myself to dwell on the negative aspect of it. I recognize it. I'm not saying I don't recognize negativity, but I refuse to allow myself to wallow in it. This again reduces a stress. That's a mental stress. So you have three forms of stresses too, mainly, guys. You have that physical, you have the chemical, and you have the emotional. Chemical and the emotional aspect of trauma, of stress. You can have stress to the body from a traumatic incident where you fall or you get hit on the head or any type of accident that breaks down the body in a way that is physically impacts the body. That's a physical stress. Then we have what they call the emotional stress. That is the stress of, again, a loved one going through a sickness, a breakup, a job loss, all the everyday societal things that we can deal with. Those things we really can control how we respond to that. The physical accident or incident that happens that damages the body, a lot of times we can't control that, but the emotional response to what it is that we're dealing with, we can control that and we can learn how to manage that. Chemical is from anything that we may be taking in that's toxic through our food system or anything that we may be breathing through the air, anything that we come in contact with as far as our water supply is concerned that may not be a healthy water supply. Again, the cosmetics, the detergents, the sprays, everything, anything that you can almost imagine that we utilize in our comfort society, a lot of those things are toxic to the body. So if you're going to utilize those things, try to get those things that are not toxic, that are organic, and that are friendly to the environment, etc. All right. So that's one other thing that you want to understand. So that's dealing with the stress. Now, the ability to reduce inflammation comes in our ability to recognize what it is that we're doing with our food consumption for the most part. Also, reducing stress will go a long ways to helping out with the inflammation and how the body responds to the body, because again, it allows the body to put the blood back into the system when you're not stressed, and allows it to work on repairing the system. So that reduces inflammation. So things that we are consuming with the food, the toxins, the heavy metals, all those things that come as additives to the food, gluten, you want to avoid that hybridized wheat. That really puts a strain on the system and it inflames the system. Soy, the Roundup Ready soy, really ain't good for you because all the toxic chemicals that are sprayed on it, again, creating havoc within the body, causing inflammation. Again, you want to reduce that. Milk, that dairy product, is known to be a mucus forming inflammatory product, guys. I know you love it. I'm not trying to bash your meat and your dairy, but you need to know the truth about what it is that you're putting in your system. So these things are really what leading to the arthritis and those type of things. Is that constant inflammation from the things that we're actually consuming. Also, meat. You want to be aware that meat is a is something that when it enters the body, it causes an inflammatory response as well. It's not natural for the body, guys. You have to realize that anything that is natural for the body, you don't have to modify it in order to consume it so that it doesn't poison the system. It just makes sense, guys. Just bear with me. Just ride with me on that. Let's talk real talk. Anything that is natural to the system doesn't have to be modified. That's anything. All right. So let's move on. Sugar. All that sugar that we're putting in. And again, that's one of my biggest things. I'm working to defeat that beast. When I defeat the sugar, then I know that my health will be back online and in order, because I'm getting everything else in order. But that sugar is a beast. That sugar is addictive. That sugar is deadly. All right. So that's another thing that you want to avoid as far as the sugar is concerned. I know there's benefits to coffee that's being put out there, but I think the negative aspects of coffee, especially when it concerns caffeine, is outweighs the positive benefits that coffee can have. That's the same thing with alcohol. Alcohol has things in it, or wine has things in it that they say there's great anti-inflammatory type, antioxidant type properties. But again, that alcohol is acidic to the body. Anything that cause an acidic response in the body is detrimental to the body in the short term. The only thing that should be acidic, or the number one thing that should be acidic, and it may be the only thing that should be acidic within the body, is the stomach. The stomach needs to have a good balance, good acidity, in order to break down that protein. All right. So with that being the case, again, I probably missed a few things on that, but those are simple things that you can do to help to reduce the inflammation in your system, guys. Again, drink fresh water, not that tap water. Find you some fresh spring water that has from a reputable supplier, and then go from there, guys. So we have to think in terms of reducing all environmental toxins that we have the power to do. All right. So have a great day. Once again, peace and love. There's no greater thing in my mind than having peace and showing love. So sending you peace and love, fam. Have a beautiful day.